Hey everyone, Ed Burton here, and another review coming to you. Me and another YouTube user who's awesome person, you gotta check out her channel. It's New Star Rising, and she has been This is how it started. Okay, so she asked me to do Barbarian Brothers, and review it, of course. The 1987 like sorcery film. I did. It's on the channel. Check it out. Um, and I hated the movie, despised it. It was supposed to be like, you know, I get how people would laugh at it. I didn't. I just could not stand that movie. And then she felt bad, so she was like, okay, well, why don't you ask me to do a review? I did The Room. I asked her to do The Room, and she reviewed The Room. I should have waited for The Room. Oh my god, that was like the worst movie in the world. I should have waited for that. Save the best for last. But I digress. Then it's just been this thing. It's like this game where who can get the more advantage, and it's fun. I enjoy bouncing reviews back and forth with her. It's a lot of fun, and I want to keep doing it. So she asked me to do this movie called Transylvania 6-5000, and that stars Jeff Goldblum and Ed Begley Jr. with Gina Davis, Carol Kane, Jeffrey Jones. And where did this cast come from? I'll get into that later. So this is about two reporters, Jeff Goldblum and Begley Jr., who are given the assignment to go to Transylvania to find Frankenstein. And they know it's crap, but their boss told them to, and crap creates, money. A lot of people buy crap. It's fact. I mean, you see some of these tabloids with all this ludicrous news. People still buy it. People still read it. It makes enough sense. Mixed feelings about this one. I was going into this one thinking I would hate this movie because it's from the 80s. It's a camp movie. It has Jeff Goldblum in it. This is a recipe for crap. I mean, and this has been the pattern as well with our movies. We asked each other to review bad movies. Me and New Star asked each other to review bad movies. So that's kind of been the pattern. But she liked Garbage Pail Kids, the one I asked her to do after one of the other reviews we did. I asked her to do Garbage Pail Kids. She liked it. I digress. And she liked it. She didn't love it, but she liked the moral and all this. I actually like this one. I didn't see that one coming. New Star owned. No. But I liked it. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it, honestly. It of course was stupid. It of course was very easy to make fun of, but I think that was the point of this movie. It was supposed to be stupid. It played off that very well. But there's still problems with it. So let's go through the positives of the movie. Jeff Goldblum and Ed Begley Jr. surprisingly are very enjoyable. I mean, I hate Jeff Goldblum. I hate his style of acting. I hate his acting period. I hate the movies he picks. I just don't like him. Ed Begley Jr., I think he's one of the most talented comedic actors. He's just very underrated. And they work off each other so well in this movie, to me anyway. The chemistry between the two is very, very good. Jeff Goldblum is more of the arrogant, kind of mean-spirited kind of reporter that thinks of himself so highly. Ed Begley Jr. is just happy to be where he is. Kind of a suck-up, kind of a lovable loser. And they work off well together. I mean, you've seen that kind of comedic duo all the time, but these two bring something else to it. So they work well together, and Jeff Goldblum isn't playing Jeff Goldblum. And what I mean by that is, if you ever see Jeff Goldblum's movies, he has a certain way of playing the characters that it's just so annoying and so obnoxious. He's not playing Jeff Goldblum in this. Again, it's 1985, so he probably didn't realize the Jeff Goldblum character until like the 90s. But I digress. The acting isn't that bad, honestly. I just don't get how they got these actors in this movie. I mean, they got talented actors. They got Jeff Jones, who's one of the most talented comedic actors. They got Jeff Jones, talented comedic actor. They got Carol Kane. They got Gina Davis. They got, they got all these good actors. I mean, not bad actors at all. I just don't know how. I guess they just got bored, and you can tell each person was having fun with their role, which makes it all the more fun to watch them, because if they're having fun, you're having fun watching them. It was funny. I had when the comedy fails, it fails, and it kind of goes on forever. If the comedy goes bad, they kind of, just drag it out so long. But the comedy that works pretty well, surprisingly. It's pretty funny. One-dimensional characters, but at the same time, enjoyable characters. You always like seeing them. The Wolf, oh my god, the Wolf is hilarious in this movie. If you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But that Wolf is so smartly written. I mean, that Wolf is so funny in this movie. I love that character. Favorite character out of the movie. That's really all I can say for the good. I mean, there was more negatives than positives, but does that make it bad? Which one outweighs the other? It's not the quantity, it's the quality, after all. But let's go to the negatives. There's too much going on. For a 94-minute film, there's way too much going on. You have two love interests going on. You got too many characters. You got too many subplots. You got just too much going on in a 94-minute movie. If it was maybe like 2 hours, maybe over 2 hours, then maybe. But everything's rushed, and there's just too much going on. There's just way too much going on in this movie, and it's very rushed. The love interest between Jeff Goldblum and a girl and Gina Davis and Ed Begley Jr. way too rushed. There's no development to that at all. It's cheap. It's very cheap, and I hate when movies are cheap, because every time I see a movie that's cheap, I always think back of Halloween and how they made a pretty impressive film quality-wise. The way it looked. I mean, the 70s Halloween movie was good, but the way it looked was just like any other Hollywood movie on such a limited budget. I mean, they only had, what, $700,000? This one had $3 million. If you can make a movie look professional with $750,000, you can certainly make a movie look professional with $3 million, especially in the 80s. I mean, there's no excuse for that. If you have a bigger budget than a movie that came out before this one, if you have Halloween that came out before Transylvania 6-5000, then you can certainly make it look better than this. There's too many characters also. It's not many characters bring much to the story. I mean, there are a few. There's the mayor. There's the two obvious main characters, but the wolf doesn't really bring all that much. The butler and the maid played by Carol Kane, and the butler, they don't bring that much. The comedic butler doesn't really bring that much. Why did you need that guy, by the way? If you're doing a comedy movie, you don't need a comedy relief. You don't need a comedy relief for a comedy movie. What was the point? Like I alluded to earlier, when the comedy falls flat, it really falls flat. It doesn't work at all. The characters are very stereotypical. I mean, even for back then, when you look at it now, it's like, oh, I've seen more complex characters with the same kind of story, kind of development. I've seen more complex characters with the same kind of development. So the characters were very stereotypical. And you have Jeff Goldblum. He's the arrogant, kind of pretentious reporter. Ed Begley Jr. is kind of the lovable loser. You got the mayor, who's kind of dim-witted. You got the butler, and the maid, whatever that subplot was. I don't even know what they were doing there. I just think they were like at their house messing around, and they just taped them. But another problem with it is that the settings are very dull, very glum, very lazy, very depressing looking. They're not very fun to look at. They're very bland. They're very boring. They're not very colorful. They're very pasty. they're very grayish. They're not very creative. Uh, you know, the cast is unbelievable in this movie. I have no idea how the cast got in this movie. Oh yeah, by the way, New Star, stay tuned because I have another movie for you to review. Okay, and this one is bad, guaranteed. So make sure you stay tuned. Uh, but they're also thinking of themselves as being smart. Uh, for something so stupid like this, the writers are trying to actually make you believe that and to an extent, they're trying to make you believe that these monsters exist. So, and they don't, and that should be put out there, you know. But they're just trying to be logical about something so illogical. The music behind everything is simplistic. It's not very creative. It's not very memorable. And while the movie was good, it's not memorable. It's very forgettable. Even though I did enjoy it, that doesn't mean it's very memorable to me. It was a fun movie to watch. I had a fun time watching it. It kind of got a little tiring by the end. I kind of fast forwarded a couple of minutes, just a little bit. But uh, you know, it while it wasn't long enough for all the subplots, I think it was a little too long. I think if you took out some of the subplots and made it like 80 minutes, everything would have been fine. They kind of dragged out a lot. There was too many subplots that didn't help the story at all. It was forgettable. The comedy did fall flat at times, but it was funny. The characters were enjoyable, but at the same time they're one-dimensional. There's always a flip coin. Every positive, there's always a negative to the positive and a positive to the negative. There's not a positive that stands alone as a positive, and there's never a negative that stands alone as a negative. It's very half and half. So that's very interesting to me because not many movies have that kind of. Well, I won't say that, but not many movies from the 80s. These kind of movies, Ghoulies and Barbarian Brothers. When there's a negative, there's a negative. When there's a positive, if there's a positive, I couldn't find it, but if there was, then it's just a positive. This is very, 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 balanced. When there's a positive, there's always a negative to that positive. When there's a negative, there's always a positive to that negative. So that's very unusual for these kind of movies. But altogether, final consensus, I give it a 5.5 out of 10 stars. I did enjoy it. It did have its moments for me. I had a fun time watching it. Forgettable, but a fun time watching it. So anyway, New Star. All right, here we go again. Here we go. It's time for another one. Okay, so here we go. I have a movie for you. I want to keep this going. Okay, I want to keep this going. I want to keep these requests for reviews with you. Let's keep doing this because I'm really liking this. So let's never stop this because this is a lot of fun. I really like doing this with you. So I have a movie. It's from 1986. Again, this is the pattern me and New Star have. Just these kind of weird movies. It's called Howard the Duck. It's a 1986 movie sponsored by Lucasfilm. George Lucas had something to do with this. That's what makes it even worse. George Lucas had something to do with this movie. He produced it, and he was the studio that sponsored it. But I would like you to review the 1986 movie Howard the Duck. Yes, Howard the Duck. It was supposed to be an animated movie, but now it's a live-action movie. It was made in 1986. Once again, Howard the Duck. And I will be waiting for another request from you, and whenever you can get around to watching that, can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. I enjoy hearing your thoughts, and I will be awaiting your request for a movie for me to review. So whenever you get a chance, review it, and I will be awaiting your review. Till then, peace.